Once you settle on an island, you never leave. An island holds on to what it has with all its might and main. Hi everyone, my name is Agnes, and this is going to be a review of The Unseen by Roy Jacobsen that was translated from the Norwegian by Don Bartlett and Don Shaw. The novel is set at the beginning of the 20th century, and it's about a family who lives for generations on a small, isolated island off the coast of Norway. And their livelihood is entirely dependent on the land and the sea. At the center of the novel is the location, the island of Borøy, and its inhospitable environment. Each member of the family has to do his or her share of the work in order to survive in these arduous circumstances. It's basically a chronicle of this isolated and rural way of life of the islanders. Over the course of the novel, we see that it becomes more and more difficult for them to remain disconnected from the rest of Norway, and they're forced to make compromises in order to maintain their lifestyle. The head of the family, Hans, has a goal to build a pier that will connect the island to the mainland and the other islands in order to ease the hardships that the family has to endure and to adapt to the changes that are occurring in the country. This is a very slow-moving story, but I think the pacing has a purpose to reflect the difficult and often boring day-to-day lives of the islanders. It describes the routine chores that they need to perform depending on the season, and each chapter of the novel almost feels like a separate episode surrounding a small event that affects the life of the family, whether it's a new construction project, a trip to the mainland, or the trading post. It almost feels like a series of interconnected episodes. It seems that the islanders have a very strong, almost religious connection to nature. So the book is full of beautiful and evocative descriptions of the island and the sea, which are my favorite part of the novel. It's very atmospheric, and I thought it was interesting how the author's prose changed from the simple way he described the everyday struggles of the family to the dramatic language that he used to describe the landscape and the storms and the tumultuous sea. The fate of the family is closely linked to these capricious natural elements and changes in seasons. Weather plays an important role in the novel since it can bring sudden changes to their lives. It also creates a feeling that tragedy is just around the corner and one unwise decision might ruin their lives. A lot of the focus of the book is concentrated on the daughter Ingrid. We see her grow up from a playful child to a young woman who has to face the challenges of trying to maintain this self-sufficient lifestyle. I really like this coming of age element of the story. And while overall I can't say that I love this book, but it's very well written, and if you're interested in stories that take place in a rural environment, and you're interested in the topic of isolation and man versus nature, you might want to give this book a go. My only criticism is that at some parts I had some issues understanding the dialogue. The islanders speaking this specific dialect, and the way it was translated into English didn't quite work for me. So those are my thoughts on The Unseen by Roy Jacobsen. I'd love to talk to you in the comments, and thank you for watching.